came as a tourist 97. I was 18, really young, no? So it was more for fun, meeting friends, the beach and everything.
I came to India almost 10 years ago.
So we came here. I came here a few months earlier to do a recce trip to find old Portuguese houses.
Having visited in early 97, I decided that I really had to come back to India to see more.
I am from Belgium.
Yeah, and I'm from Belarus. I came my second time to Goa because my first time was very lovely, and I decided to just come second time to explore more, and then I explore him.
I'm German essentially. My father's German, my mother's Russian.
I'm originally from England. I'm British, fully British.
My father lives in France and my mother lives in Germany.
Well, I'm a translator and language trainer because of the languages that I speak and teach. And I ended up in Mumbai, which I was there for a number of years. And then I came on vacation to Goa and met Tanya.
As we used to come every year anyway, we had the idea to start a business here to make some bread. That was actually me and my father. My ex-wife said, everyone said we were crazy, we should not do this. And so yeah, we started, me and my father.
Oh, I think me professional now is like mother, you can say. I forgot many things I have done before in my life. I was working before in Moscow, and since we started living together, I was just enjoying my life in Goa, doing yoga and not much else. And then the child was born, it took over all my time. But since Lucien got bigger, we are trying to do some other projects as well. Like we brought rain boots, which are not available in the whole India for monsoon, and we're trying to sell it out. So Peter is helping me with this project as well and doing his translations and teaching.
Now, I've been an antiques dealer for all my life. I just decided at age 15 that I wanted to be an antiques dealer, which you know, a lot of people go through life thinking, what shall I do, what can I do, what will I do? I knew very early on what I wanted to do. So I've been involved in the antiques business since my late teens. Initially as a furniture restorer, then I bought for dealers, worked for dealers. I was an antiques and art broker. I started doing interior designing, styling for magazines, and so on and so forth.
In a bizarre twist of fate, I was supposed to go to university that year, and I'd got into a very prestigious university in England where it's one of the only ones where you can do acting as a course. And I'd gone through the audition process, everything, thousands of applicants, got in, was very happy and couldn't wait. And then I got a letter about a month before I was due to go to uni saying, oh sorry, we're not going to run that course anymore, but you can do English if you want. I was like, excuse me, what's the same? You know, English and drama, it's not the same. So I decided to defer. So I basically came out of that system and said, right, I'll come, but I'm not going to come until next year, hoping that they would have the course running the following year. So in that sense, I was able then to make the decision to have a year off, or it was made for me. I had the year off and I came travelling to India.
It's been now, since we started the business, about 7 years. Well, the idea was to give this kind of French touch. Croissant, baguette, this was the beginning, bakery actually. Because there was no good croissant, there was no good baguette, so we thought, okay, we should try that and do it. But actually now if you look, there's the pizza, normally in the season I have a French pastry chef. A friend of mine is coming here, he's making beautiful tarts, choux à la crème and eclairs, chocolate eclairs. So it kind of like spread out, became bigger, but in the beginning actually the idea was bakery, to start bread and deliver hotels and all this. And I went many places, I went hotels, but they don't, it's a luxury product. You know, they prefer to buy some local bread, which is also good here in Goa, it's very good bread, for 2 rupee, instead of buying a baguette for 20, which maybe goes to waste next day, you can't use it. So it didn't really work out. So at the end, it was more the cafe idea that worked out, the restaurant. But in the beginning, it was the idea to make really bakery deliveries. And we do deliver supermarkets.
being an interior designer and a stylist and in this business, we decided to make this into our show house, make this into our showcase of what we have and what we do. Because when you come here naked. No one knows you, no one knows what you do. You can try and tell people, but anyone could say that. So the only way to show people is to put your money where your mouth is and do it. So we did up this house over a 6-month period and then brought over 2 containers of our furniture, which was the contents of our shop in London and our 4-bedroom house in London. So that's what this house is filled with. An art collection, lots of furniture, original furniture from the 20s, 30s, 40s, and so on. So clients come to this house and their bottom jaw hits the ground and they drag it along behind them and then they sign on the dotted line. And it's quite straightforward. I know it's worked for us every time because I know that very few people have come here with everything. Most people come here and dip their pinky and see what life is like and so on. But I quite enjoy the concept of completely closing one door and opening 2 more.
It was always a traveling family. I grew up in the community. They were all going to India, and my stepfather was an ex-sannyast also. I still is Osho sannyast name. So actually I had this connection with India already.
First of all, the plan was to go travelling for a year and then maybe find somewhere to settle. So it happened that we came here because it was familiar to us, it was special to us because we met here and we've never left.
And irrespective of how much money you're earning, one often says in little private conversations with one's wife or whatever, wouldn't it be nice to live somewhere a little less stressful, a little less expensive, a little calmer, peaceful life and so on. And we just thought, come on, if not now, then when? So at that point, you start to figure out, well, where can we go? America's out of the question because, well, for obvious reasons. They were in a worse place than we were. The whole of Europe is out of the question. Then you have to start thinking about your children, their language, their education. Yeah? So our shortlist was China, Morocco, India. India kind of won hands down. What with the English language spoken and the hugely expanding economy that was just going wild. At the time when I left England, I listened to a radio program that said the whole of the world is in some way or another, form or another, going over the cliff into an abyss. The only country going up is India.
My daughter, she lives here. My daughter is now 8. She's going to school in the Yellow House, Yellow School.
We have such a mix of kids from all different places with many different nationalities, some of them speaking lots of different languages. So originally we started the Yellow House School in 2004 with around 15 kids, and I'd been approached by a group of parents who were trying to set up a nursery or a kindergarten for the kids that were settling here at that time in 2004. It was a time of change where a lot of people that had been here and had settled here as partners, life partners, husbands and wives and girlfriends and boyfriends, partners, they'd come and naturally everybody ends up having children at one point, no? Natural progression if you're in a relationship. So suddenly all these children started appearing in Goa.
And I got pregnant here and baby was born here in Goa in Portbury, so he's as well very much Goan.
He's a Goan boy.
Indian food and like he's really Goan boy. I mean, he eats fish and curry, which I don't eat, you know, for us it's a big deal.
Also my father, he say he's doing a bed and breakfast in France, in a tourist area. And it's just the economy is going down and he said better stay in India. Like, don't come to Europe to start to do something because it's just everything is going down. There's no food. You say I can't eat anymore. You can't go to the restaurant anymore. Used to normally, like for lunch, you know, he said it's all like processed food, frozen, and so you say, yeah, man, better stay in India. So I didn't need to adapt too much.
Asia is going through a fantastic economical boom, whereas Europe is not. So I went where I thought would be better for my future career. And I came as an experiment 10 years ago. And it's definitely been the right decision. And the longer I stay, the more difficult it is to leave.
There's a huge boom going on in India and a massive progression, in education particularly. For me, I realised when I left England, it was like, yes, that was the best decision we could have made for our family. And no looking back, absolutely, at all.
Goa is also a wonderfully inexpensive place to live. I mean, we can live in these glorious big houses at a fraction of what we would spend elsewhere. So having come from a big city of London, I didn't really want to move into another melting pot like Mumbai or Delhi. I preferred to get used to India, get used to the economy, get used to our own place in business here, place in the market, and live here with our children in relative peace and quiet until we make our decisions about how to move forward. So we're still very happy living here in Goa.
I don't think I will go back one day to live in Europe.